Warning, Arch's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Get the microphone on. What else do I need to push? I got to push more buttons here. Let's see what's going on with you fellas. So Bloodnose went to go play with his CB radios. I used to do that. Oh yeah, I was big into that. I actually threw out one a while back, a Lafayette my friend Rob gave me with a Turner microphone. It was really old and beat. You had in order to get on, it was an unlocked with a slider, and it was one of the early phase lock loops. And it had two switches on it and a slider. And what you had to do is it came with truth tables. So they were just printed out pieces of, ditto paper. And you had to look up the position of the switches and where the channel selector was. And based upon those things, you could then calculate what frequency you were on. And then to dial it in a little bit more correct, you had to tweak the slider, right? And for back in the day, it was pretty cool, but it just, and I think it was peaked because it was a sideband, so it had the double sideband. So it was peaked, and I think it put out maybe 24, 25 watts max, and then I don't remember that well, but most of the time whenever we peaked those things, you would buy another set of output finals or two and keep them around because they wouldn't last. You'd overheat them and they'd blow out, but that's just what we did. So that was a lot of fun back in the day, the D104s and Breaker, good buddy, and all that stuff. I still remember, I used Channel Hopper for a while, then I used 7-Eleven, and I think my call letters were KKO 3235. It's kind of hard to forget certain things. I think that was the whole thing. So I've thought about getting back into stuff like that, and but it's expensive. It's like everything. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Music and stuff like that, and channel changes and all kinds of really cool stuff like that. It gets expensive. If you only have one hobby, and you put your money into it over your lifetime, it's different. I'm not saying it's not expensive, but I'm saying is that you collect, you go to swap meets and garage sales and whatever, and you pick up stuff and you trade, and then of course when the online stuff came, it was like a gold mine for a little while, but then it got to a point where, like Fleabay would overcharge you for garbage and you were lucky to get it, and it was just a hassle. And then it got better for a while, and it got expensive, and then it got horrible, and then it became Amazon's choice. Everything now is like Amazon's choice. Let me see. I want to break out the chat window. We'll say hey to everybody. Let's see. We'll break out the chat. Break out the chat. Pop out the chat. Let's see, I'll bring it over here. I might want to adjust this. Let's see, split screen. So I made it a little bit bigger last week. I don't want to keep fooling with it, but I do want to see which direction do I go in. So does the camera have to come over a little bit? Yeah, probably not tonight, but I don't think it's truly level either. Art, stop doing that. It's creepy. It makes us uncomfortable. I know. Let me see what everybody's doing. Hold on. Let's see. Drunken Jim says, hi, Bloodnose, the song remains the same as heard in my 1970 Nova. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had my 69 Nova forever. It was an awesome custom car. I won a whole bunch of trophies and races and divorce. Divorce and health issues. I had two of those Novas, and I had a whole bunch of Mustangs, 67, 68. I had a 66 that slipped away. It was a friend of mine's, and he got married, went upstate with his lady and started a new life. And then they had some issues, right? And he left the Mustang, and all the floorboards were replaced, and the shock towers were tweaked, and he had the export brace and the Monte Carlo bar, and he had a 289 HP. I had built an HP. And then laying in the background, he had a Rock Crusher, and he had a 351 Cleveland. All the floorboards were replaced, like I said. And it was sitting there mostly apart, but all that work was done. I think the torque box, one box was replaced. And my ex-wife and I went over to look at it, and it was a lot of money for us in those days. It was well over $1,000, but it was worth it. And I spoke with the parents. It was his in-laws. And we started to figure out, could we come up with the money? And we kind of came up with the money. We went back. It was gone. Because the marriage issues and everything. I think he just gave it away, threw it out or something. I was like, whoa, no. My life is sometimes awesome and sometimes it's just horrible. Uncle Mark says, he goes, hey, everyone, from my frozen part of the world, we had -40, which, including the wind chill, has been more like 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is nice. It's a lot warmer, you think, most of the winter. Back to the temp by next weekend. Hope to survive that long. And I wrote back, I said, the best song remains the same was in New York, Madison Square Garden. I thought that was awesome. Mark says, close to -40. It's usually a bit colder that we are used to, but this has been only first few days of this. Yeah, it's 31 right now, but very windy. It's been really cool. I made a comment that it might kill off a lot of insects. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm hoping we're going to get more cold weather and then possible snow on Monday. But next week, around the time of my birthday, yes, fellas, my birthday's coming up. Say happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. I live in a tree. So, I think it's going to be brutally cold, and a whole lot of us are going to get this blizzard. According to the models, right? I've been following the American model and the European model, and we'll see. Mark says, is it true? I have not seen any type of bug for months. I know, that is like one of the cool things. Jamie goes, showtime. Happy New Year, Arch, and all valued subscribers. Yes, of course, I'm going to get to that. Blood Nose, my CB Radio Club just went live. I gotta go. I hear you. Matey goes, Uncle Mark DOI fix a channel. He goes, you can keep it up there. Yeah, because, well, you're going to get some cold too down there in Texas. You might even get some flurries and stuff, according to what's going on. And let's see. He goes, Mark goes, I need a lot of solar panels to run heaters here. Yeah, I bet. I still want to get into that. Brett says, dilly. Hello, folks. Matey goes, I just ordered a combiner box to have all 6 panels sending power. And yeah, I'll catch up to you on your solar stuff. I've been busy doing other things, which we will get to. And I just can't seem to make any money right now. We'll get to that. Let's see. Mark says, we'll have to see where you're at next stream. Yeah. Hello, brother Arch and everyone. Lewis says, Maiden says, and Boats, hello. Yeah. Jamie goes, happy birthday, Arch. Brett says, hello, brother Brock. It's so funny. Let me pull up. What did I want to pull up? Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. So all we have to do now is the split chat screen. I just have to go. Yeah, okay. So all I have to do is do this. I just click now. I'm getting used to it, right? I'm starting to get used to some of this stuff. And, when I was doing Restream, see, I got to come this way a little bit. Yeah, so I got to figure out, like that other one. I think if I go this way, maybe if I turn the camera. Anyway, Restream screws up my settings too. But, I'll get there with it. I figure I want to do Restream, like, I don't know, once a month at least. I mean, we'll try to do a video, a live stream every week. I can't guarantee it, especially in the summertime when it gets really busy. I mean, if I get really busy and I get really busy, then I get tired. I'm getting older and, health issues. Holidays were horrible. They weren't terrible. They were horrible. I mostly spend the holidays by myself because, although we did some stuff on nothing on Thanksgiving. I basically ate out here by myself. Everybody was gone. And which was kind of nice. And then in between that, my brother was up, so that screwed up a lot of my work routine and everything else. And then we're somewhere in there, and Christmas is okay. We did some Christmas stuff, but it started off horrible, and then salvaged it. My sister came by, and it's just people it's the effing behavior of people. I know it's tough for people this time of year. A lot of people, you get suicide rate goes up, all kinds of crap happens. everybody's just got to relax, and it's not mandatory that you have a really good time and get all of the best gifts. Like, it's just not, right? I've always felt that way. I'm like, just chill, live life, right? Relax, kind of chill out, enjoy that. Like, one of the things like I've been really trying to do, and I've said this before, is like, I really want to get to the point where I'm like semi-retired, because I can't afford to retire. Gee, thanks to divorce and health issues. So I want to semi-retire, because I tried golfing and all that. I want to work, and I want to work on what I want to work on. And then I just want to have enough liquid cash so that when the winter comes, I don't get depressed. My body does. Like, I don't really get, some people do, and they have seasonal, I think they call it seasonal affect disorder, right? So that's understandable, right? You're not in the sun as much. Me, I want to hibernate. I'm like a bear. I just want to do the things that I want to do. Don't ask me mandatory to go places and do stuff. When the spirit moves me, and then I get exhausted from doing stuff. I've been taking advantage of all this great weather, and I'll show you some stuff that I'm working on a little bit later. And it's just awesome, right? You get these few days here and there. It was like 60 degrees, I think, almost one day last week, whatever it was. And I was moving more stuff around, pushing stuff around. I loaded the shed. I unloaded the shed. I brought stuff out here in the garage. I unloaded it. I did the swap, right? The snapper is now vertical. Okay, so that's one of the things I love about the snapper. You take the battery out, you take the fuel out, you give it its last run, which I did. It was a couple of weeks back. And then you throw it in the shed in the vertical position. The only thing is it was leaking a little bit from the seal around the dipstick, which is it's a replaceable rubber seal, but I put some goop on it and it seems to be okay. But I really want to do that seal. We have a few more things to do coming up this season on the snapper. And I want to go over that seal and a few other seals and the shaft seals and the bellows and all of that, get it cleaned up, maybe buy a nice new mulching blade. And Mailhouse, where's Mailhouse been? He sent me a link to buying the entire kit to block off plate, right, for just mulching. It's a little pricey. Where is Mailhouse? Where are you, bro? What are you doing? Where'd you go? Let me see what's going on here. He goes, I'm going, made it. What's the temp? He goes, did you see? I saw a little bit of it. Yeah. Like, you guys were pulling apart. Brett was pulling apart a brake booster for like a 74 Duster, right? I knew it was going to be dead. They used to be able to be rebuildable. Then they made them, like the GM made them all sort of stamped. They had this crazy thing where this locking system where you had to turn it and it like bayonet locked in. And you couldn't turn them. Like when everything got corroded and everything, then they made like nice refurbs. And I don't know, I guess the Chinese do it all now. You probably just get everything from China. Nobody does anything here anymore. Lewis says it's 19 in Michigan today. And you guys over there in Michigan are going to get pummeled soon, which is good because I got this snowblower all done. I'm going to be putting it out. And I was going to put it out. And I'm like, well, you know what? Because it was a hard start. So I had sold it and the guy gave it back to me. He didn't want it. So I went through it all and I found a starter motor in the shed. Like, I really didn't want to give this starter motor away, to Tecumseh 8 horse. And I like, you can't keep everything forever. What are you going to do? Are you really going to do this project you want to do with the 826? Honestly, the 826 is another story, but I should just put a Predator motor on it because that will sell on YouTube. And they're not bad motors. In the meantime, we've got other stuff to do. So kind of got all that set up. And I'm like, you know what? Let's put 5W in it. So I'm like, you know what? I also need some of those nice towels. The lint-free for specialty stuff. I call them, they're not paper towels. They're papal towels. The blue papal towels. They're blessed by the Pope. Nobody could touch them. My daughter uses them to wipe the dog. I'm like, don't touch those. Those are for painting, and they're lint-free. Stop it. There's other paper towels for that. But I digress. So we'll get to all of that. But Amazon, I'm like, they're like next day, right? I'm like, yeah, next day. I don't have to go out. And I need paper towels and a couple other things. So the paper towels or the papal towels were supposed to come like later in the week because they were not like available. Meanwhile, they came right away and then Amazon screwed me on the 5W. I'm like, it's just 5W. What are you doing? I should see it maybe tomorrow. Like, I just wanted to go out in the garage, save a trip over to the store, pour some 5W in, right? Show doing that like split second, and pull the pull cord and show, look, we've gone through everything. It starts easy now. End of video. No, I gotta wait. I'm only gonna wait another week. And then, if they don't get it to you, then they're like, all right, well, then click on this link and then we'll refund you your money, which is God knows when. And then either I got to go get the 5W or just order something else. What the hell is going on? Let's get back. I digress. He goes, it's a blistery 63, right? We did find a rebuild kit for it, though. In fact, just going to repaint that duster, so maybe I can do a series on it. That would be nice. By the way, check out Brett's channel if you haven't seen it. I sometimes put the link in, but I think Brett, you do a nice job on the as the camera person, and I think that would be nice. Most of us wish only the really good YouTubers that can afford to pay people, right, really can get like a full-time camera person. The rest of us can be like, yo, Mac, can you hold this? I do that sometimes. I'm like, hold the camera, right? Just hold it. And sometimes some people do really well with it. They're naturals. Brett's kind of more of a natural. Just stay away from the digital zoom. The digital zoom is no good when you're hand holding it. First of all, get too shaky, and then the process have to freak out and do all kinds of stuff, and you make mistakes, and then you're in too far, and then you can't tell it. You're out of focus. It's a mess. What the zoom is good for is, and I was watching, which I'll get to in a minute too. Let me turn this off for a second. We'll get to that in a minute. So I was watching Mad Ginger Customs, I think it was. He's a ginger guy, and sometimes his wife helps him. He tests a lot of welders, and some of these new welders are awesome. But he puts the GoPro too close because it's a GoPro, and he's got some weird camera things. He just doesn't know how to handle it, and he's constantly going through lenses and stuff. I'm like, no, bro, set the thing up on a stand far enough away from the welder, and then if you only have digital zoom, then just use the digital zoom and get it on a stand far enough away so the sparks and all the horror don't ruin it. Then you digital zoom in, and if you want, you can even, like I was saying a week or so ago, go to an app, get full manual, darken it, lower the gain and everything, so that when the weld pops off, you're going to see the puddle. Which is, if you can do that, that's really good. Keep the camera out of the way. Keep the phone out of the way. Keep the GoPro out of the way. That's why I use this stupid thing all the time. Or sacrifice your camera, right? And your lens. So many people I know like, oh, I ruined my lens. Yeah, I'm not ruining this lens. Okay, so the zoom on this allows me to put the camera, far enough away to where I can pop off welds, and they look good. They look good enough. I mean, I'm not in the business of selling YouTube videos based upon my welding anyway. Grinding in paint makes me the welder I ain't. Let me come back. Let's see. 1974 runs this 360 Mopar engine. Lewis says, oh, when you're waiting on parts, yeah, two of the video, yeah. Yep. So I just try to do other things. I have a lot of other things to do, and I had to move this big right, which I'll show you later. He goes, can we show that vid later? Probably not. I don't want to be on that long. I don't always want to just show vids, It's not something that's really part of your channel or even mine. You need more stuff like that because it's off the beaten path. Let's face it, right? You could pull apart that thing in 5 minutes and show what it is. You don't, unless you're rebuilding it and you're showing how to, it's like a 10 minute video max. So I'm not really into playing that. I do enough screwed up things on my channel. I'm trying to limit my time. Barry says, Barry, you all 16 right now here in Illinois. Snow will be on the way in a few hours. Yes, see what I mean? Christopher, what's up, Chris Arch? We're getting our first Tesla soon. Model Y, can't wait. That's cool. It's not a 318, it's a 316? I didn't know they made one of those. Let me bring this back. Yeah, there we go. So I just want to say thank you to everybody out there because I just hit, I should say we, but it is me, 1.8 million views. Like I never thought that would even be a thing. So what has it been? It's 5 years, right? So I'm not sure exactly when. I'd have to go back and look, but no one cares, right? Exactly when. So let's say 5 years, 1.8 million views, 8.8 thousand subs on, I think what I said was like 400 and something videos. It's actually more than that. It's closer to like 600 videos, but I deleted so many of the early ones because they sucked so bad. I had to get rid of them. But that is really cool. So I wanted a big shout out to everybody, and thanks for, so many people have helped me out, and I met so many great people here, guys and gals, and all you and everyone else, and the Ken Show and all that, which I saw most of that today. That was an interesting one. So the restream, yeah, like I said, it kind of screws up my settings, but we'll figure all this stuff out. Still poking around. I do like it. I'd like to do a restream like once a month, and I want to do it a little bit differently. Like even Ken says, he'd probably be better at like doing like more of a 1-on-1 or a 1-in-3 or something like that. And I got to figure out how to connect all of this stuff so that I can, because I did try Restream and I put up that intro, right? And you couldn't hear it, right? Because there's no way to sound map. You guys know that go on Restream or even StreamYard. You have to pick the camera and pick the mic, and that's it. And I pick all kinds of stuff. Like it's not it. It's whatever is going on, So 1.8, 8.8, and I want to get to a little bit of the copyright music, some channel changes, and a special guest appearance we'll get to in a minute. A Muzak appearance. I'm going to do a little bit of Muzak coming up. So copyright stuff and thumbnails and all of that. I like to play music, as you may know, right? I love to play music because I'm a big fan of music, and I haven't been playing and into music for a really long time, and I want to get back into it. And I've been threatening that I would play my guitar or do something and do some blues stuff. I'm looking for some more blues. Too much of the heavy rock and heavy metal, and I just kind of want a little bit more of like a bluesy, maybe a touch of country. It depends. It's got to be more of like the rock country that I come up around, and so. I found something the other day on Mad Ginger, right? And his channel I'll show a little bit of at some point, just like little excerpts, just so that you guys know where it is. He's cool. He's like around our age. And like I said, sometimes his wife comes on. He does a lot of the old car stuff, but what I really like is he does reviews. He's pretty good at the reviews. He's kind of odd. He's an odd dude. And he modifies a lot of the Harbor Freight tools because he does, especially when he first started, everything's expensive. It's like you go to do something and a lot of this crap doesn't work right. And he does some interesting, nice work. So he takes these tools and these demo stuff and whatever he gets and he tweaks and modifies. So some of you guys might like that, especially if you're into tweaking tools or even some of the new tools that are lacking in some way. It's inspiring, and you come across somebody selling something on Marketplace or whatever. It's something to consider, and he plays music. And I heard a tune the other day. I'm like, oh, that's a nice one. So I start searching around. I've been searching around for non-copyrighted music, something a little bit different. And I came across a couple of these channels and the one song, because nowadays when you put some of this material out, most of it, you'll see the links or it'll put up the fan page or whatever, the YouTube page up in, automatically it'll place it in the description. I'm like, okay, let's go check all this stuff out, right? I'm looking to just whatever, let me just see. And I got hooked on this one tune. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But I think it's kind of neat. I think that's it, channel changes. So that's kind of part of it is I want to make these bumpers and I want to be able to play a little bit of blues. And I haven't played in years. And I'm like, I got to get back into it. Unfortunately, the equipment that I used to have is all gone. It's been sold off or whatever. And that was geared around audio and playing in bands. And this stuff is not. None of this equipment is for that. I tried one day, I think it was like a year ago, I tried playing some stuff. And you can't. It's so out of time. And you can't play to something that's in a time lag. It doesn't work. So I was experimenting with hooking up this computer, which I'll explain a little bit. Hooked this computer up through the network, and then I logged onto the computer via Windows Remote Desktop, and it's also a network share. And I moved over a file, and then I grabbed that, and I was recording, and then I had the video feed, and I'm like, oh, it's out of time. How many milliseconds is it off? Let's get to that. Hopefully I did okay. Like, it's not terrible, but we'll definitely get to that. Let me see. I can set it up. It's not the right way. I have another way of doing it with minimal equipment. Still, I have to do this on a budget because I simply don't have the coin. Let's see. It's a solid engine. Saw wood chipper that ran 318 industrial. Yeah, sure. The 396 Hemi, or was it the 426 Hemi? I forget which one. They used to run those sirens for years. They had them run those air raid warning sirens. You know, those things are cool. Hold on, let me turn this off. And we'll try to do like an hour tonight, you know. I don't want to get too crazy. All right, here we go. Let's see, where is it? Where did I put it? I'll find it. Have I? All right, take like 600 million 16. 300 millisecond delay. Oh, that's my big effort. All right, that took a lot for me to figure out how to do all of that shit. Like, I haven't played in so long. So first I had to learn, I learn how to play again. Then you got to learn a song. Then, like, I'm trying to hook all this stuff up. I'm actually coupled into this computer, this old AMD computer over here. And it's going out through the network and back. So there is a 300 millisecond delay. And I'm like, well, push it. I'm guessing it's 300. So I'm like, well, it's in a delay. Let's push it up, see if that will work. And then I'm listening to it in my headphones and listening to my amp. And I have to kind of pull the headphone away a little bit to hear it, to hear the amp. And I'm like, oh, that's too loud. And it's the wrong mic. But you know what? It was fun. And I wanted to see what could I do with this equipment. Now, I think Maida would be interested in that. So here's an older Creative Lab Sound Blaster sound card. This is what I used to use. And then it hooks into this box, which goes on the front of the computer. And it's just like a pigtail box. But what's nice about it, we don't have a lot of light here, but what's nice about it is it's got a volume control on it, and it's got headphone and microphone inputs on it. So it's got its own driver for it. And you kind of basically I would set up this computer, and Cakewalk, which is a program that you use for recording audio, and you can edit it like any other editor, like a video editor. And that way, I would have everything in time, because I know that some of the newer ones obviously are a lot of money, but these things are designed for audio, and they kind of sync up with the programs that connect directly to these sound cards, as opposed to the sound cards that are on computers really aren't made for that. And a lot of times these programs won't really couple correct, and then they could be these weird delays, and you cannot play to anything with any kind of a delay. If you want a delay, you put it on your guitar, you put an echo. There's a slight echo on my guitar. That's different. I'm talking about latency issues, because you can't play to it, because you just know you can't anticipate anything. So I might be able to kind of rig that up, and that way I can kind of make these files. They're in time, and then if I want to couple video to them, any kind of video, I can couple the video to it later. Even like a live, I can have it feeding something, and then it will be in time, and it's just easier, because it gets so complicated. And like I said, this is video, so video is really weird. So if you couple your microphone to your camera, it's in sync, and let's say you're at 30 frames per second. Well, when you're recording music, there is no 30 frames per second or anything like that. No, it's whatever it needs to be. It's got to be. You can't limit it to something like that. You can record live music to some degree with your camera, but if you look, you can't play to it. And if you really look real close and peek under the hood, what you'll see is that the music is not really in sync with the camera. At some point, it gets out of sync. In order to record like a live band or to do something like that, you have to resync the video. The audio has to be recorded separately. You do these things, you marry them back together again, you do overlays, and you correct. Or you make the video vary at a time, and you cover over fudge areas, like you make it staccato, and you fool around with effects, which is what I did. I wanted to fool around. Let me see what you guys are up to. Now I should just be able to take the live setup, go to split screen, and then I go like that, and see, I'm getting quicker. Let me see. Let's see, 318 or 360. Congratulations, brother Arch. Congrats, Arch. Thank you, fellas. 318. Because I had a few of those 318s. No issues. They were good engines. They were good, solid motors. 318 is, yeah. I start next on this all the time. So you got a Strat. What year Strat, Crispa? Yeah, I don't play anymore. I don't have the time. And when I broke my back, I really couldn't. It was too uncomfortable. I just had to stop so many things. Use a 318 for Sirens 2. I had a 318 in my 68 Satellite Sport, my 70 Dart Swinger. I wouldn't mind having one of those again. My friend Steve has, I want to say it's a 66 Satellite. And we put together a 440 foot, but he never did anything with it. He got it all painted. He did use it years ago when we were very young, and the 440 needed some work. So he took the 440 out and rebuilt it, had the car painted. It sat in his garage, got married, started working on the house, has his kid, and his kid went to go up to college a couple of years back. So Steve has got his own business, and with his, I think his cousin, and he goes in, and he sent me a picture of it. He rented a storage facility, and he was towing it over there and shoving it into the storage facility. And I thought to myself, well, that's it. It's done. It's never going to get worked on. If it didn't get worked on while it was in his way, he's not going to go out of his way to go to it to work on. He's just going to do all the other things that Steve does. And that poor satellite's going to sit in that hole in the dark. It's what happens to us, you know. Yeah, those are nice. And even the darts. I like the 68 or 69. It had like a bubble top. What was it? Was it a Charger, Challenger? I forget what it was. And when I was in high school, a guy had a 440 Charger. I don't remember which one. It was that awesome car with the. I don't know Chryslers. I don't do Chryslers. I'm more into Chevys and Fords, but I had Pontiac. But that thing was so fast. He goes, Lewis says, give me one of those. Thank you, Lewis. DNR says, very awesome. I missed that one. Had the 225 in my 66 Dodge Coronet 4-door and some Valiants. Yeah, those were nice. I wouldn't mind having one of those now. Ken says, Ken goes, I wish I had a Vic lighter to hold up. Brett goes, play it, Brother Arch. That's too funny, Kenny. Yeah, it's funny. He goes, Lewis, he is good. Thank you, brother. DNR says, play some more. Barry says, very cool, Arch. Brett says, my old Windows 98 PC ran around the Sound Blaster Live video card. Was great in that old machine. I know this worked. I'm pretty sure. I know this worked with Windows 7. I think it works with Windows 10. And when I get a new PC, I'd have to get a new one of these. But I'm going to shove it in this old guy over here. The Charger, the 1969 Charger, was the General Lee. That was the big one. Yeah, I'm thinking about the smaller. It was a smaller car and it had kind of like a bubble roof in the back. And I can't remember what it was. It was really cool. A friend of mine had one. We went upstate, cruising around in it, and checked out some of the colleges up there. And I thought it was really neat. Made us his second-gen Charger is what you used in Dukes of Hazzard. I thought that was just too big. You know, it was a huge car, at least in my view. The Nova was considered to be like an intermediate kind, not a compact, but it was really considered to be like a smaller car, you know, for its day, the 69 at least. You know, and then they started coming out with other stuff, and I think they changed it. By 74, it was completely different. It wasn't even a Nova anymore. It was like a boxy, gross-looking thing. I think it was by 73, they had the plastic grille and the 5-mile-an-hour protruding impact bumpers that were horrible. Just terrible. Yeah, I think it was the Barracuda. Yeah, the Valiant. Yeah, Ken says. I think it was one of those. Yeah, those were really cool. I always wanted one of those. They're not so easy to find, not around here. This is my do what? This is vet. Yeah, kind of like a vet-like rear window. I liked it. It was a nice car. I don't remember what motor he had in. He might have had the Slant 6, but that was a really reliable engine. Steve's cousin rebuilt one of those in his garage, in Steve's father's garage. So we had it all apart, and I remember being part of that. And I thought that was a really cool engine. You know, we didn't have to get too crazy with it. The one I'm thinking of is I was telling you guys a while back, I saw, what the hell's that guy? I can't think of his name on YouTube. He's really huge. I just can't think of his name right now. He picked up like a 4-door 1950 something Dodge with one of the early Hemis in it, and fixed it up and drove it home. He's the guy that like drives everything hundreds and thousands of miles home, and he fixes it. And I just can't think of his name. And I was impressed with that car. I thought I liked the dashboard. Those motors were smaller, but it's still a Hemi, and they're kind of neat. Even in the 4-door, it had an interesting look to it. And I thought, geez, if I came across one of those, I wouldn't mind taking that. You know, because I almost got that 55 Ford, and that had the Y block in it, look, they're a little bit more modern. A friend of mine has like a early 60s T-Bird, and of course that's more modern. When you go back into the flatheads, the chassis, the braking system, the engine, I'm like, they're really neat, but they're just too old. And even when you're in the 40s, right, you get like towards 48, 49, and they started making the bodies are kind of neat, but it's just a little too old. And unless you live in an area where there's a lot of junkyards that you can just rifle through, because my Nova took like 5 cars, to build. I went through a lot of cars. I had one of my 67 Mustangs. That was 2 cars, 2 separate cars. And I had the 64 Galaxy, but I parted out a bunch of those. Eventually, though, I just got rid of it all. I sold it all. I fixed it up and sold it. That had a 390 in it and a 289. So I had 2 of those. And I had a 352. And an old truck. That truck was beat. That's my issue. Like, I'm not of the age and of the ability and the finances to go crawling around Long Island, right? It's just not there. I mean, when I was younger, you could just look in the paper and people were selling these things for cheap. I bought one of the six-cylinder Mustangs, 67 Mustang 6-cylinder for $140 from a dude I knew. And that was the body that, because it had like no stress on it. And I took everything from a broken 67 Mustang that I got from my brother, and that was an 8-cylinder. And I swapped everything onto the 6-cylinder car in the cold, like now, Good winter projects. Let's see, 71 of them. Let me see. Bit like rear window. My friend's dad drove a 1971 Nova, ran the 350. Good motor. I had a couple of those. 68, 69 Barracuda, 426 Hemi, ruled super stock in a track. It was an awesome, awesome car. And good looking. I thought I wouldn't mind one of those. Would not mind one. I would not turn that down. Of course, I can't afford it, but I would not turn it down. Neat, but not safe at any speed. Yeah, of course. The old cars could never stop. But Vice Grip Garage, you can make them stop. But the chassis and everything, they're more modern. The stuff is out there. Like, you may not be able to afford it right away, but, maybe you could save your money, or if you live long enough, right? That was my thing. I had my Nova for almost 30 years, so it took a long time to get it. I mean, I did it. It won a bunch of shows, and I had it, I modified it, and then it needed more paint work and some touch up, and I did it and went to some more shows, and then it got messed up when I hurt my back, and then I went over it again, and I made it nice, and I sold it. And it was a lot of years in between all of that. So I had my fun out of it. And I had my 73, which I beat to crap and put all kinds of miles on it. And that actually became a donor for the 69. I like the 69 because it had the vent windows that popped out. The 73 didn't have that. Some people don't like that. I thought that was cool. TGM, good morning all. He's like waking up or something. We're going to bed. I don't know. Yeah. He goes, Manny goes, please check your email for the pic I sent. Hold on. You guys got to wait because I got to pop in. Let me, hold on. I got to pop in all of the passwords and stuff in there long. Let's see. See if I remember them. That's why I generally don't do this. I don't check my email. I don't really need to. There's nothing in there that I really want, right? Like, it's so old school. Let's see what the screenshot says. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Let's see. It's like I just don't check it. Let's go over to the right monitor. I could show you. There we go. I could blow it up, maybe? Screenshot. Yeah, that's it. It was so cool. I'm just getting closer. Yeah, the Hemi on the glass, yeah. Well, these were race cars, but I just like the cars themselves. Yeah, the bubble back. Look what the motor is. 66. Let's go up. Yeah, it's cool. Totally different chassis and everything. It's just the body. The models were cool. I remember those models. Yeah, the glory days. So I watch a fellow. Yeah, I'm coming back. Hold on. I'm terrible with names, because I have no brain left. So I watch a fellow. What is it? Jim's Garage, whatever. Let me bring this back here. Close this down. Kill that pic. Bring this back. Oh, let me rearrange everything, fellas. Let me rearrange. This is split. There we go. And where's the other? There we go. Let me refresh it. And click the butt. Make it last. Okay, we're back. All right, we're all back. Let's see. TG is just waking up or something. Hey, bud. He goes, Arch, please check your email. So that we saw that. DNR retracted. Let's see. He'll send something back again. Again, this is Heavy Under Glass. They took Jay Leno for a ride and flipped it over. Oh, my God. I didn't see that one. DNR said he just bought a Windows 11 computer. Nice. Yeah, I mean, check out Mater because he's got a newer computer that he's rocking right now. And so, yeah, eventually I'll do that. But again, that's more money. All of this equipment is all money. And it's like if you have a lot of hobbies, there's just no way. I can't. I want to get some more guitar stuff because the guitar needs some more work. The shit's old now. It makes noise. And if you want to record something, you got to get rid of it. You hear the noise in the beginning and at the end. You actually hear the amp. It's picking up whatever electrical noise. So I have something it's like a Furman power conditioner. I don't know if it's made by Furman or one of the other power companies. It's a rack mount thing, but I'm going to mount it on a bracket in the back. There's a lot of stuff mounted back there. I'll probably show it. See, this is all the stuff I should be putting on like a technical channel. And how I'm going to put the video card, the audio card in this computer and how I'm going to hook it up and what are the signal paths and all that. Like that's all the stuff that should be in, AGT, Archer's Garage Tech or something like that. And, how to patch it through. And the abomination that I did the other night fooling around, because I thought, you know what, no better time than the present. Let me play some guitar. Maybe it'll get me into playing a little bit. I'll have some fun. Let me see if I can connect it to the stuff that I currently have. Turn the camera on. Figure out, can I do any of this? Is it possible? How is it done? Like, how can I do it? How wrong is it? And it's wrong. Yeah, it's not a good way to do it. But at the end of the day, if you really want to get more into it, it's back to spending money again. See what it can say. Let's see, I gotta see this later. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at this. I have to see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because it's on my cell phone and I can't share this with the desktop. Let's see. Jay Crashes. I should be able to find it. Hold on. Yep. Oh yeah, I'm sure. That definitely made the two of them a lot older, right? I would think. Because I would definitely be not happy after something like that. Although, you know what? He goes, a heads up, we've detected video and your stream belonged to someone else. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill that one. Hold on, let's make sure we don't have any monetization on. Hold on. Should be off. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Click that off. Let's see. More info. I'll get to that later. But that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill that. Especially a Jay Leno YouTube thing. You cannot put that up and get away with it. It's just not going to happen. Totally not good. But it's fun, though. My brother. See ya. Yeah, that was definitely worth watching that. That was cool. Yes, I heard you guys talking a little bit today about thumbnails and stuff. And yeah, there's no copyright on thumbnails. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if someday that changes. Because YouTube is huge industry now. It's huge. I think I told you guys a while back. I don't remember what the stats were, but I think it was over the summer or something. The federal government had like a showcase, and they brought in, it's one of these, things where they all get together and they meet with a whole bunch of government officials, and they brought people from YouTube in and some of the top players in YouTube and YouTube actual Google officials and what have you, and all sat down with the lawyers and everything. It's like a convention kind of thing. And yeah, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry now. It's not what it was. And there's so much going on with it. Like I put out a video on those drones and stuff. I got 2.2 thousand views on the live for a very small segment I did. However, the average view duration was 4 minutes. Out of an hour and a half or 2 hour video, whatever it was, the average view duration was under 5 minutes. It's not views, it's clicks. It's clicks and impression click-through rate. And so somebody's fast forwarding it. And so the total accumulated average time was 4 minutes. Live shows are a nightmare. Like there's no money in live shows. The only way you can make money in a live show is if you're somebody that's already very popular and you don't do that many lives. And then of course, generally you would leave on monetization because that's going to put you on the map. And then people donate, like they hit super chats and they give you money. And then you don't come back for a while and then you do it again. And if it's either like that or it's an interview and it's very specific. And other than that, most people will do them because they're just a waste of time. And then you get like 100 views or 50 views or whatever, and that hurts your channel. And you're doing it for 2 hours or whatever. I was doing it for 3 hours. And Brett and I in Mailhouse, we did one like 7 hours or something. It's fun. I enjoy doing them, you know. I mean, you could make a little bit of money. I mean, but that was, and then I tried to separate out that segment and I added some more information. And I put it out, and it got like 500 and something views. You know, I'm not the right channel for stuff like that. It's not a guarantee that even if you go and you put a video out on something current event or like a hot topic, there's no guarantee you're going to hit. You have to have clickbait, like Henry Mowers and Blowers. He's total clickbait. I won't watch that. I don't like that guy. I've told you guys that. It's just clickbait, and that's fake, phony, and fraud, in my view. I don't like that. And if it's too clicky, people, I think Wade was saying, it's like the titles have nothing to do with the video. So it's a waste of your time. What I always say, the pillars, right? Don't waste your time. Don't waste somebody else's time, and you better have a good time. You know, because if you're not making any money, then people will hate you after a while. Or you collect all the dum-dums that don't care that they're getting an imposter, an imposer. I don't know. Some people like that. Like they like to be imposed on. I mean, like I'll put a video out on doing, I have one of my top videos is on doing a valve train adjustment, valve lash adjustment on some Briggs, 17 horsepower, an older overhead. And this motor, the whole thing was a mess. There was so much blue RTV everywhere. So when I pulled the rocker cover off, there was RTV everywhere except where it needed to be, and it leaked like a sieve. So I thought, out of a 12-minute video, I would take 5 minutes out and show people how to, correctly apply the right RTV. You get people saying stuff like, "You wasted 5 minutes of my time! How dare you! I just wanted to know how to do the valves. I don't need to know how to do RTV." I'm like, some of the how-to stuff, meh. And I did one on like worst saw on the planet, and two people, negative comments. One guy was going over everything I said in the video. It's a box store, and back in the day when it was $175, it was worth it. But it's a piece of crap. The guy's like, "It's not a piece of crap. It's this and it's that and it's like everything I said. But it is a piece of crap." I mean, in fact, he repeated a lot of the stuff that was wrong with it. So at what point do you not recognize that it's a piece of crap? Even though you went over all the horrible things that the screws strip out, and you shove it in tie wraps and plastic ties and bread ties to get a grip on the, oh, it's horrible. Why would you want that? But you got to take care of it. Yeah, well, what do you mean take care of it? Like, how do you take care of it? If you're going to take it apart to clean it, you can't get it back together again because everything's stripped out. How is that? At least the cheaper Echoes, they got brass inserts. I got a nice Echo saw over here. I can't get it started. I don't know what's wrong with it. It was like brand new. That's why somebody threw it out. And then I bought a coil for it because something was wrong with the coil. And I didn't want to buy an original coil, which is a bad idea because coils can be iffy. I just bought some coils for this Kawasaki motor. It's kind of sucky. They work. They work good. It's kind of hit or miss. But there's not enough left in the saw now after buying the coil and fooling with it for hours, pulling on it, destroying your shoulder, wrecking your elbow, right? Anybody that's around our age, right, knows what it's like to do this. Bad, right? All that time and that money, who cares? It's free. I'll never get that back, and it's not worth it. I'm like, I should show that. I should do a video on that, like a 3-minute short, and chucking that thing and setting it on fire. Yeah, that's a YouTube video right there. Totally. Oh my God. And Ken's got to go. He goes, phone's about to die. Let's see. Let's see, what time are we? Where are we? Yeah, we're almost done, too. An hour and 6 minutes. He goes, buy thumbnails of my own pics I take myself. Yup. He goes, okay, send the street later. Lost my voice. He goes, did you have it? Brett, did you ever find it? No, he can't find it. He lost it. It's under the couch, Brett. It was 7 hours and some change, Arch. It was well after 4 a.m. when we ended up. Yeah, he was still in time for church. Yeah, YouTube's going to slap me down, right, for poning on Jay Leno's territory, you know. They're going to slap me down. That's good, though. Well, let me tweak this. I'm actually going to have my second cigarette. I got that cigarette. It lasted over an hour and change. This is like when I do this kind of stuff, I smoke. It's bad. It's not good. But these are the better cigarettes. I want to get some of the ones that Maida has. I used to smoke stuff like that. We used to get them from Texas, like actual tobacco. Instead of this, I was showing you guys last week. Instead of this cancer stuff. This stuff isn't even tobacco anymore. They put so much crap in it. It's like the food we eat. So I was up all night last night fooling around. My daughter wasn't well once again. Okay. I go to play my guitar and it's like I'm revisiting the old days of my horror and her horror. It's the food. It's the Crohn's. And I said to her two things, right? I said, your iron's been low and they do these infusions. I keep telling you, you need to take small doses of iron on a regular basis. So she's working out, doing all this stuff. And guess what happens? I'm like, I knew it. She hit a wall and got sick and really dizzy last night. So back and forth and in and out. And my ex is she's nurse nightmare. Okay. That lady is horrible. You do not want her around. Don't ever get sick. Just die in front of my ex-wife. That would make her happy. Just don't get sick because she's horrible. She's just not nice. Everything's got to be about her. And then she's getting mad at me because I'm telling her, you're an effing narcissist. You really are. You don't even know what that word means. So she went to the doctor. They took some tests. They did some blood. That'll come back. The doctor suspected low iron, right? So she went over to her friend that she's been working with, who I think I mentioned to you guys that she's this sort of alternative pharmacy. And I got to say, a lot of the younger people in their 30s and very early 40s, they're starting to get into the natural therapy, even though they're coupling it to standard, allopathic medicine. And I had said to my daughter, I said, you may even have, maybe, because you may have a parasite. A lot of people have them, and doctors don't check the stools, and they don't check for parasites anymore. I may even have one, because diabetes in some cases is linked to this, and it's very hard to get rid of them. I would know. Would you know? Would you really know if you've got a parasite in your gut? Not necessarily. Most of our cells are made of other cells from things like bacteria. I'm like, what is human? I mean, if you think all of your cells are human cells generated by your own body, think again. So, what did the lady say to it? Well, you might have a parasite. We have to check. I don't know what's worse. Either way, I'm like, you got to get your vitamin levels up and your iron levels up. So I gave him some vitamin B12 and I gave her some Geritol. Fellas, right? For us. Because it's for us. It's about us and it's for us. I'm a narcissist. I should know. She's feeling a bit better. But it's that damn Crohn's. Because part of that problem is that when you don't really digest properly, like you're not pulling the nutrients out of the food. And there's not a lot of nutrients in food, but there's a whole lot of poison and crap. Let's do the canola oil thing before we get out of here. Hold on. I love this thing. And we'll get out of here. Let's do canola oil. Yeah, the good bacteria is important. Yeah, but the yogurt isn't enough, though. But I'm not saying don't eat it. I do. But it's not enough. Like, we're so out of balance. Yeah, hold on. I love this. This is the best. I want to try it. I want to try more of this stuff. I don't know what engines I'm going to put it in or whatever, but we're going to run canola oil in something this summer, this season. We got a lot going on this season, a lot of cool stuff coming up. So fear not, my lord. So let's go to the canola. Do I still have it? I should. It's just the best. I love the tune too. It's a good tune. Yeah, here it is. And then we'll get out of here. Yeah! was a solution. Dig it! Thanks, Canada. Oh, no. That's so cool. After World War II, they had so much access. Oh, what a nuisance. Too much oil. Then some finance guy said, maybe we can. Oh, I got one more thing. Yeah, let's eat it. Oh, I love it. I got one more thing. Hold on. Let me shut that off. Hold on. I got one more thing I want to do. I got to find it. Oh, let me come back. Let me make sure the other one's off. Yeah, let me turn this off. I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's probably good oil for something. But I wouldn't eat it. I mean, they were using it in ships and everything, right? So it's actually true. That's a real thing. Let me find this. I just got to play this before I get out of here. You know, we got to have some fun, fellas. See if I can find it. I'm always horsing around. Because I was thinking, I was watching one of the dudes that went live today around the same time Ken went live. I was like torn. It's the oil guy. You know the oil guy. He's like the oil guy that, you know, everybody watches. He's like Mr. Professional Oil Dude. I forget his name. I'm sub to his channel, but I'm like, oh, like I do kind of want to watch, but I could listen to Klaus and because he knows a lot. You know, Klaus knows a lot about the oil stuff. You know, it can get confusing. You know, I would like to get Zippo up here or something because he knows a lot about oil. I don't know how he's feeling, but maybe one day when he gets into it, whatever. He's got a lot to say about oil. I think that would be fun. Ken says, Lake Speed Jr. Is that his name? Okay. I'll have to go check to see who I was watching today. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this guy too. I'm like, because this guy really does know a lot about oil. Can I find it? Where is it? It's got to be, it's a short. So, is this it? This might be it. Let me cue it up. Hold on. I don't want you to. Yes. Hold on. How do I make it stop? Make it stop. Pause it. Stop. Hold on. Wait. Let me put this on the other monitor. Oh, no. It's going crazy. Hold on. We'll cue it up. You know, I mean, I like to use good oil, but the question is, what? You know, for what? What are you doing with it? How do I? Yeah, let's minimize this. It's on the wrong monitor. I got to move it, and it's not set up. This is what every time I see clouds. Oh, let's kill this. Let's make sure that goes away. Right monitor. Yeah. Every time, I was saying this before, every time I see clouds, I think of this, because it's just my mind.
I am Klaus. I am Klaus. I am Klaus.
I am Klaus.
Klaus will take you.
Klaus will take you. She's hot.
I am Klaus.
Oh!
I am Klaus.
Oh, this is wrong. He goes, I am Klaus. And John goes, I'm John. And then bang. I don't know if I cut that out or they cut that out, but I just get a kick out of it. Let's see what Ken said. I'm bad. I'm terrible. Hold on. Let me kill this video here. I am Klaus. He goes, Lake Speed Jr. I think that's the guy. Yeah, what everyone should know about motor oil. Yeah, and then you have to watch like years of this guy and you still won't know crap because it's just amazing what... Yeah, I think we definitely need... Ken, we should do a show on motor oil somehow, you know, and just have it be like a 45-minute show to an hour only on motor oil. Just to dump our 2 cents in. and boil it down. Today he was talking a little bit more about, and I missed some of it, he was actually talking a bit more about the stuff for small engines. And so there's some really good advice in that. And one of the things I want to get out of here kind of on this is, so for example, I like Hondas, right? Now, I put, most of our customers, they don't even know. They don't even change their oil. They don't do anything. They don't clean anything. They don't take care of it. So listen, my biggest advice is I don't care what you do. Dump the thing on its side, change the oil every year, all right? I don't care what you put in there. I don't care. Put good oil in there. Good oil in there. I don't care. Just do it. Stop with this nonsense where you never change your oil. I like the new box store stuff, which is you never have to change your oil. Just add. What do you mean add? What is it, leaking? Is it burning? Why should I have to add? My engines don't use oil. Well, then again, if I beat the hell out of it. So let's say my Honda, let's say we go and get some nice Honda oil. And we look up specs on it. And then maybe you send some out to one of those labs and you get a report back. And then you find a motor oil where people say this is good for small engines, okay? And you stick it in there and maybe you send some out and you get a report back. And you look at the differences. Does it mean, because the original, manufacturers like Honda and some of the other better manufacturers, engine people that actually make engines, they're going to tell you what they really want from the oil. And Klaus often says, like, a lot of they run hot. There's certain specific things that you really kind of want in an oil. You don't need all these additives. Don't dump anything in your oil. Don't put extra stuff in your oil. The only thing I put in is I like the Lucas top oil, which just goes in your gas. I use that probably more than I use anything else, like even gas stabilizer and stuff like that. That goes in all my cans. It just kind of goes in my cans. My cans sit outside all winter long, like 15, 20 gallons I usually have on hand, and I never have an issue. When you see this snowblower, I don't know what gas this guy put in there, but it sat outside and sat out here for a year, and it was just nothing but varnish in there. It reminded me of the good old days. And it stained. It not only stained, hold on, there might still be some staining left. It's too late now, but I'll show you guys. If you don't see it, you're not going to see it's too white. But it's like mustard stained. You see how kind of yellowy it is? Look, that's white. That's whiter. You're not really going to see it. Well, it's all stained. It stained the Chinese food container like this weird. It looks like Aladdin. Ken, like, I don't know if he's still there, but remember the Aladdin or anodizing that they put on, carburetor parts and on metal and especially in mil spec? That's what it was like. I'm like, oh my God, what the guy use Aladdin or something in here? It was, is that an additive? I'm like, what is this? That's years ago, the old gas would do that, but that was a long time ago. And over a year, I mean, there was no rust. Maybe put something in there. I don't know. There was no rust inside that little Takumi carburetor. It was just full of that. It was all stained and dark. It wasn't syrupy, though. It wasn't like watery fresh gas for sure, but so I think that would be interesting, is to talk a bit more about just choosing a very specific plan and having a very specific, maybe a group of oils, a few oils, and some conditions. Because sometimes I'll throw a little diesel. I throw in some of the machines that are struggling to getting older. I use a 1540 diesel oil. Has a little bit more zinc in it and whatever. But don't leave it in there. Like, no oil should ever be left beyond its useful service life, especially in these older motors that we get in. There's sludge in there. There's all kinds of junk. You can't get older oil out, so you're contaminating even a good oil when you put it in. It would be nice to just, for people like us or that care a little bit more, you want to hold on to your equipment for a long time, because honestly, there's really no reason. Some of this older stuff that I like to work on, the parts are mostly available, and you get these things working good again, and you get on a good diet of getting cleaned and lubricated and some good oil and some decent gas, we'll be dead, and it'll outlive us. On that note, on that refreshing, lovely note, I'm going to get out of here and see, what did we hit? We hit an hour, 21 minutes. We did good. I want to thank everybody for coming round Arch's Garage. Yes, welcome to Arch's Live, starring Uncle Arch. And all you fellas, and maybe one lady. And I will see you guys on the next one. I can't wait. And you'll be seeing probably, I don't know, one of my videos will come out soon. I'm not sure. The right is, oh God. That's fun, but there's a lot more going on with that. So I'm hoping to get that snowblower video out because I just don't have a lot of snowblower videos. And sadly, no one's watched my green one yet. All right, the green Craftsman that I love. That thing was really cool. All right, fellas, I will see you guys later. Try using canola oil for two-stroke. Yeah, it's a good idea. That's an excellent idea. We'll use. Thanks, Jim. We'll use canola oil for the two-stroke, and we'll mix it with yogurt and the good bacteria. All right, I'll see you guys later.